What are the four cornerstones of strength training and how do we implement them? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. A quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, follow or subscribe if you are not yet, and please drop me a comment with your thoughts, ideas, or just to say hello down under the video. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. All right, first of all, you guys see me right here at the start doing max effort work. Notice these are heavy singles. When we say max effort, you notice everything I'm doing here is for deadlift related training. So I'm only just kind of showing you guys one movement, right? Just how to get strong at the deadlift. We're just using that as a baseline. Obviously, we do different stuff for the bench press. We do different stuff for the squat, but the idea here is the same. Max effort work right here. Number one thing. This is where we get our strength development. And notice when I say max effort, it's not 3 reps, it's not 5 reps. It is a 1 rep max. Notice every one of these lifts, it moves slow. Okay? It moves slow. They're all heavy. Every single movement I am doing here is a rep that is 95% or higher of everything that I have on that day. Okay, so you saw me do a conventional deadlift. You saw me do a cambered bar good morning. That was with 500 pounds, by the way. And then you saw me doing a pretty deep deficit deadlift standing on a 2.5-inch plate. All right, max effort. That is really your bread and butter. That is where the strength development occurs. All right, up next, dynamic effort. All right, notice this is all low reps, 1 to 3 reps. Speed work. With lightweight against bands, against chains. Notice we change movement patterns. So you'll notice in this video, these are done in different waves, by the way. Sometimes you'll see me use bands. Sometimes you'll see me use chains. You'll see me do sumo, right? You saw the sumo right there. We need to be clear. That was a sumo pull. Even though my big lifts are conventional and I compete conventional, we do sumo work. We do conventional work. I rotate through these different training modalities, okay? You want to sometimes do speed work with close variations, so you're going to do different grips, different stances. When it comes to squatting, it might be a free squat, it might be a box squat. It's going to be with different bars, against bands, against chains. If you don't have access to bands and chains, that's okay. But again, dynamic effort work. And what's the whole idea with dynamic effort? Very, very high sets with very lightweight, done as fast as possible with super short breaks. So let's say I'm doing that. I'm going to do 10 sets, 30 seconds apart. Okay, so just as an idea, in different lifts, we'll do between 1 and 3 reps. All right, we're going to do 1 to 3 reps. They're going to be 10 seconds apart. All right, so we're in and out, in and out, in and out. What does this do? Number one, it teaches you to explode. It teaches you to be fast. Number two, it does train the movement patterns and setup because you have tons and tons of first reps. You have to find your spots where you're fastest. So when you do speed work, you will find the position, the toe angle, everything that lets you move the bar the fastest. And you're going to get a lot of practice with those first reps. You're going to set up over and over and over. It's going to make you good at singles. It's going to make you good at power because you're having to do a first rep all the time. You're having to reset up. And because you're doing bunches of them back to back, some of them are going to be faster than others. Your brain is going to start remembering what toe angle gives me the most power. What lets me move the bar the fastest? Why does that matter? Because that's where you're going to be strongest. Okay, the faster you can accelerate a weight, the more likely you are to lock it. So not only does it teach you to be faster in terms of the nervous system and the drive, what else does it do? It teaches you to find the setups that let you go fast. And with the super short breaks, you don't have time to think. It's just bam, 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 bam. Also, because we do it with short breaks, what happens? We accrue metabolic fatigue, which builds muscle. If we did them 3 minutes apart, it wouldn't have the same effect. But we're hitting the fast twitch fibers every 30 seconds again. So what happens? We get a hypertrophic effect from that on top of it. All right, well, what builds strength? You got to be bigger if you want to raise your strength ceiling. Hypertrophy matters, which is why we come over to the next step, the repetition effort. Okay, so we have max effort, dynamic effort, then repetition effort. You're going to notice me doing a bunch of sets of 10 to 12 on good mornings with different bars in these videos. So you saw me doing a cambered bar. That cambered bar I'm using 315 for 10s. You see me doing a safety squat bar, doing like 240 for sets of 12s here. Okay, and for people who are like, where's that math? It's a 60-pound bar. So that's why the 2 plates per side. All right, rep work, reps. Like a bodybuilder, repetition effort means that we are trying to build muscle. You are thinking like a bodybuilder. And in this case, why am I doing a bunch of good mornings? Glutes, hamstrings, erectors, traps, to some extent lats, right? That's what the good morning builds, and it builds them very, very well. Of course, we use different bars to emphasize different parts. You can do different variations. You can do bands. You can do chains, different stances. The same thing, build all the muscles. Build the muscle, build the muscle, build the muscle. That is done with repetition, right? We know this. Bodybuilders know this. Everyone knows this. If you want to get big, you have to do some rep work with moderately heavy weights. It can't be super, super light. We do that for restoration, which we'll talk about here at the end, restoration GPP. All right. So we've already covered those. So then what else do we have? Restoration work. What am I doing here? Sets of 25 to 30 on a reverse hyper. Now, will that build muscle? Yes. Yes, if you are doing 20 or 30 rep sets close to failure or to failure, you will gain muscle from it, right? What else is it doing? It gets blood flow. It's active recovery. It helps us restore. It also forms a general physical preparedness. What does that mean? Strength-based cardio. A lot of times we think of it as sled work, weight vest work, prowler sleds, pushing, all that stuff, right? Strength-based conditioning, but really high restoration work also raises your GPP. Why? Because it raises your work capacity, makes you breathe deeper. Again, you start think about what's happening here of laying on that device and pressing on your abs. Start doing really heavy 20 or 30 rep sets of reverse hypers. You're going to be breathing. It's going to have a minor conditioning effect, but it's not like a lighter cardio to where it's just endurance. This is going to be similar to HIIT cardio to some extent. Some of it will be something like the reverse hyper. So what are we getting here? We're getting a restorative effect along with an additional muscle building effect. And in fact, those last 3 all contribute to muscle, don't they? Through a different pathway. We're doing different reps that all give us muscle. It's just that the repetition effort is really focused on it. But this restoration stuff, will it put some muscle on you? Yes, of course it will. Does it increase blood flow, increases our ability to recover, improve our work capacity? Yes. And that work capacity from it's going to matter on that speed work, because the faster we can recover from sets, the faster we can do the speed work, the better metabolic benefits we get from it. Okay? It all matters. And it all feeds back over to that max effort work, because if we can recover, we build all the primary movers, we build all the stabilizers, we're going to get the most benefit on those maxes. All that speed work is going to teach us to move the heavy weight faster, and then the max work will let us move heavy weight, and it will train us and teach us how to max out and move heavy weight with maximum force. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.